So why choose bodybuilding over anything else? Well, for me, it was pretty simple. The disciplinary acts of bodybuilding and how to live that bodybuilding lifestyle was what drove me to want to pursue it myself. For many people, it's the aesthetic look, it's the strength, it's the winning competitions, is maybe getting sponsored by somebody. For me, it was just going through the motions of the discipline that it took to get to it, and the process of building down the body, which to me is the most fascinating part. In the very beginning, I was skeptical with my first coach because I was at what I thought I was a bulking stage, which was really bullshit. It really wasn't bulking. I mean, it was bulking, but dirty bulking. I had started my fitness journey and I lost weight, and I was at 165, dropped to 140, then tried to build muscle, but I was doing it wrong. And then eventually, when I got my coach, my first coach, I wanted to pack on size. I wanted to pack on muscle. I didn't care what it took. I was just ready for it. Let's go. And he wanted to put me on a deficit and cut me down. And that eventually I would have dropped weight. I would have lost weight. And it took me so hard from 140 to get to 170 before. It was rough to agree with him and say, yes, let's do it. But I didn't realize that that's what it takes to actually transform your body in the first place. I was nowhere near being ready for being on stage or anything like that. That was just the first 10 weeks of prepping like a bodybuilder, without cheating, no cheat meals, no soda, no nothing, like strict dieting. And it worked, and I enjoyed it. As hard as it was in the very beginning, I enjoyed it. And it wasn't as bad the first time around, the first prep that I did. I did it for the challenge for Axe and Sledge, and it just progressed from there. I kept going to the gym. I met a couple people that actually compete. I ended up doing an amateur show, and then I ended up doing my first NPC show last year, and I've got second place for that and qualified for nationals. And then it just spiraled into me training other people and having my own competitors. And for me, bodybuilding is a lifestyle completely in itself. Like, you have to eat, sleep, and breathe this shit, because it's, you have to love it too. It's not for everybody. I've heard so many people tell me that they want to bodybuild, they want to compete, teach me how to pose, let's work out together, all kinds of shit, and it never goes through, or it never pans out, because people aren't willing to go through the hard shit. People aren't willing to change their lifestyles the way I changed mine for this. For example, I used to eat junk food at least once a day, minimum. I won't eat junk food unless I'm off prep now, or I know I don't need to be on a strict deficit or anything like that, or I'm cutting. So for me, that was the first thing, is to change the mindset that food is everything. I can train my ass off, but I'm eating like shit. It ain't gonna fucking do nothing. So for me, the disciplinary with food was one thing that kind of just had me going day by day, just I'm getting stronger mentally and physically because I'm doing something that's uncomfortable, but I enjoyed it. For many, it's kind of like, it's a sick way to think of it, but I really enjoy the so-called suffering of not having your cheat meals, or even when it's getting down to peak week for shows. Like, that's a real, you take your body through an extreme that not many people are willing to go through or can go through. For so many people think that bodybuilding is a boring sport because all you do is stand on stage. Like, you have no idea what it takes to be on prep on peak week. The only people that I feel are very close to knowing what it is would be anyone in a sport that has to make weight, like any martial arts, boxing, anything like that. Because if you have to make weight, and let's say you want to come in at your heaviest in order to bring a lot of power, but you have to lose 5-10 pounds to weigh in at a certain weight, Well, those individuals, those athletes have to cut extremely hard in small amounts of time. Whereas for a bodybuilder, we're cutting from way before because we need to look a certain way without losing muscle. It's just a science within itself. So for me, it was just a no-brainer that I wanted to go through this journey of changing my body, changing my mind, and eventually my whole spirit completely to it. Being able to train clients and help them with their lives and getting healthier, and then training athletes and stuff and helping other people pose, it helped me just continue to evolve in something that I enjoy, that I love, that it's my passion now, you know. And it took years for me to find this passion, but it doesn't matter. Like that's the beauty of bodybuilding. When I found out that certain people that I follow started bodybuilding in their late 30s, early 40s, it was over for me. I was like, okay, if you can do it, I can too. So there is no limit to this sport, and it's rewarding in itself. If you're willing to go through a prep, you already won. If you can do a prep without having any setbacks, which there are plenty setbacks in life. Life itself is a setback when it comes to prep, because all kinds of things happen. You have your kids, your family, your relationships, jobs, hobbies, and friends, and all kinds of things that you change and stuff. So you got to be willing to do this fully, and you have to make adjustments. You have to make compromises. You have to switch your schedules around sometimes. Whatever it is you have to do, if you really want it bad enough, you do it. And you do it knowing that it's your choice, knowing that you made a decision to do this, no one else. So when the times are hard, when the prep is hard, when the temptations are hard, know that all that falls on you, and you can rely on yourself, because no one else, it's no one else's fault. So if your kids want McDonald's and you can't have it, it's not their fault. So remember that you chose to do this. Bodybuilding can change your life. It can make you stronger. Can really figure out who you really are inside, what kind of person you really are. It can take you through some real shit in life, but overall it's such a great experience to do. I recommend anyone at least try it once, and if you don't like it, you don't like it. But for me, bodybuilding is everything. It's life, love, routine. It's happiness, freedom, pain, hurt, anger. It's everything in one. And that's what passion should be. So bodybuilding is my passion, and I'll continue to do this until I find something else to do, which I have plenty other things that I still will eventually do. So age is nothing to stop us from doing anything. Health conditions can be, fixed or regulated through fitness and healthy eating. So there's no limitations. You just have to go reach for it, want it, and do it. And for me, it's bodybuilding and helping others reach their goals in bodybuilding and fitness too.